In this topic, we're going to discuss how to utilize attribute queries and spatial queries within GIS and within ArcMap. So there's a lot to discuss in this particular topic. Definitely wouldn't hurt to look through the book and understand how this can be done from the book standpoint. But I figured the best way to really go through it is maybe just go through an example. So, and this example that I have written up here should hopefully at least get us the basics of what we need to accomplish. And you can, what we're going to be learning in this lesson, you can utilize within the assignment for this first module. So, for this example, we are tasked with locating potential farm sites within Crawford County, Pennsylvania. That's in Northwest PA. The property is asked to be at least 200 acres in size and have a body of water either running alongside it or through that property. So we're going to use GIS to determine how many potential farm sites there are in the county. So to get started with this, we're going to have to get some data. The data sets we can get are readily available on PASDA. This is a website that Pennsylvania has available for some GIS data sets. Not everything is on these, but fortunately what we need is available for us. So the first thing we're going to need is the parcel data set for the county so that we can understand which particular tracts of land are at least 200 acres in size. The next set we're going to need is rivers and streams, so we can figure out where those streams are going to be located in relationship to those tracts. So to get this data, you're going to have to download the shapefiles. Again, they're going to be zipped up versions of the shapefiles again. If you want to look into the metadata, it's available for you here. We're going to go into metadata a little later in the course. Yeah, so anyway, I already have these available for us. And I put the two shapefiles within a folder here, called it Crawford. I would recommend probably doing the same thing. Again, here you can see, if I'm looking at it, these are both polygon features. The rivers actually have some area to them, and streams have area to them. And if you click on the description tab here in Arc Catalog, you're going to get that metadata. So let's get started within ArcMap. So we can start a brand new map, nothing in it. You can either drag it in as we showed in the previous lesson. You can use catalog here on the side and then pull those in one at a time here. So first I have my river or my parcels, then I have my rivers. So you can see those here. Then let's get those so that they're a little bit easier to see. Like right now you can't really see the rivers at all. So if I clicked on the icon here, again we probably want to have it hollow, and you might even want to make this more of like a gray. That's a little easier. And then on these rivers here, just make it like blue, maybe even like a darker blue. Maybe make this blue as well. Okay, so there we are. We're all set with our map. So first, we need to locate the properties that have an acreage greater than or equal to 200 acres. So if we open the attribute table, we right-click on that, the shapefile here. You can search through all this. It's going to be kind of a pain in the neck. So rather than doing that, let's utilize an attribute query. Here, I'll zoom this up here. I did that by right-clicking and zoom the layer. So up here, if we click on selection and then select by attribute, we get this select by attributes section here. And so there's two layers that we have in the map currently. So we have the parcels and we have the rivers and streams. Doesn't help us to find out how big the parcels are if you're looking at the rivers and streams. So you want to be looking in the parcel layer, and then we want to see where acreage is greater than or equal to. And then I always tend to get unique values. It might not really help us here. You see it's calculating, it's looking through every one of these values in this data set. And so, you know, you don't want to be picking like the closest one to 200. Like you don't want to pick this one because it's not going to be, like this one isn't greater than or equal to 200. So you really want to put in 200 as being the acreage amount. Another good thing here too is to verify that your expression is working how it should be. So this right now we're using SQL. This is kind of similar if you have any background in Access or just data queries in general. It's going to be pretty familiar. But yeah, so we can see that it's been verified, and then let's click Apply. And so when we click Apply, the ones that are greater than 200 here will show up. So like right now, we can find a couple in here. Anyway, there's a couple hanging on here. Let's sort descending. Yeah, so you can see here that there are some that are actually 200 on the nose. Out of this, we can look at our selected features by clicking on the second area. This second icon here shows selected records. So let's take these parcels that are above the 200. Right now there's 107 that meet that criteria, and export those out into a separate shapefile. So if I right click again on the parcels with the ones selected, so I have 107 selected here, and I go to export and export data. So let's go back to our Crawford folder, and then we want to export this out. We don't want to save this right now as a personal or file geodatabase. We want to save this as a shapefile. So let's call it about Crawford 200 acre parcels. I tend to use these underscores in here. It's just good practice, especially when working with Python. So anyway, you can keep this as a shapefile, and it's going to put .shp at the end here. And then when this exports out, it's going to export out the shapefile and all those other associated files along with it. So we go to Save. We can keep all this here. We want to export out only the selected, only the 107 features, and hit OK. Okay, do we want to add this layer to the map? Yeah, we do. Why not? So right now we have those in here. Let's make those a little easier to see. Let's make them more like an orange or something. An orange outside. Okay, that looks good. So I still have those selected here. If I click on this, the list by selection, I still have 107 of those original parcels selected. So let's clear our selection. Let's actually make this more like, so you can see the cuts in the tracks. All right. So next we need to locate from these 107 selected parcels that work with the acreage, find the ones that intersect or are near or adjacent to one of these bodies of water. So for us to do that again, we're going to have to do selection and then select by location. So we want to select features from, we don't want to select features from the whole parcel data set because it's going to be way more than we need. It's going to be basically every parcel that runs along the river or a creek. We want to select from our 200 acres, and then we want to see where they intersect with the rivers and streams. So this is set up right here. We want to intersect these. If you would want, for some instances, you might want to apply a distance. So like say if you wanted to find parcels within a mile of a major highway or something like that, you could utilize something like that. For this, we don't necessarily need that. So now we can click apply. So after that, we have 53 of our 107 selected. So you can look at the selection, the selected records here. So now we want to export those out. You can see these ones here. They didn't necessarily, they weren't close enough to a body of water or anything like that. They didn't intersect with the body of water. There must be like a small tributary through here. But yeah, so let's export out these selected 53. Let's say these are going to be called Crawford Farm sites. .shapefile. Export out those, and we'll add those to the map. And then let's make these red. And so there we go. So the answer to our question that we had, how many potential farm sites are in the county? The answer is 53. So that's pretty cool. That's something, you know, like if you were spending all this time looking through all the county records to find this, you probably weren't going to be able to find it. So you can see how useful GIS is at solving a problem like this.